It's been morphing the whole time. It'll change as I get new technologies or change different things. I had to change my motor controller. So I took my twist throttle off, and now my throttle is on a lever. I have a regenerative braking going, electric braking in the back. It says right in the instructions, do not remove your mechanical brakes because of this electric brake. It's only a novelty. No, it's only for this, that, and blah, blah. I couldn't help it. I had to remove my brakes. This bike has one brake lever. Bam. You put it on, rear brake comes on, and however hard you clamp it is how hard the front brake comes on. But it's an on-off thing for the rear brake. So it just comes on when I pull my front brake. The rear brake's on. So that's how this bike stops. It feels great, and it stops quicker than when I had my mechanical brake back there, just using the mechanical brake in these two. So the reason I removed the brake, why not just leave it on there? It's not in the way. Well, actually, I put a headlight on, and it came with this thing, which is a horn and a tells your headlight on. I had it over here, and you only have so much room on these, and I am maxed out. And I had it over here, and basically my hand was cramping. Last two rides since I've had it on, my hand cramped over here because it was too skinny. So I had the bright idea. I go, well, I'll remove that brake. I can put that over here, and then both hands have enough room, and they're not cramped, and I won't be getting a hand cramp because they're not, they got enough room. So that's the justification I had for removing my brake, my mechanical rear brake. And I mean, how much does it do anyway? It's got to be about 60-40 at best for the rear brake, 40. Your front brake's probably 60, or I'd say plus. But I didn't have room, so now my hands are comfortable again. So problem solved. My brakes are working good. If I roll out into an intersection and get hit by a car, and if I live, I will make a video about it saying, yeah, don't, man, I fucked up. I fucked up removing that brake. But another thing that, when I was thinking about doing it, I got one lever on here. That's kind of scary. You get on there, it's like one brake. That's it. A car only has one brake, or you got your parking brake, but that ain't for while you're driving down the road and your brakes aren't working good enough at the stoplight. You pull your parking brake. That's not what it's for. Basically, you got one pedal, and so that's the way this is. I got one pedal, and it pulls both wheels. That's the way it is on your car. You put one pedal, and it makes all four wheels brake. So, I'm trying the one brake method here. It gave me enough room on my handlebars, and it was fun to pull a wire off of this thing instead of putting one on, because I really do have an overrun of cables. I have them all zip tied together here. I got cables running. Up into there. So it was cool to remove something that was in the way here, a big old thing, and clamping them for the brakes. So I removed that, and it will definitely be on my mind on my next rides, because my brakes failing would be a disaster. But this brake comes on and works like a banshee, and my front brake's good. Eventually I want a disc brake on here. When I can get a good hydraulic disc brake, I'm gonna have to get a new wheel though, because it won't hold a disc brake, but I can mount it because my fork does have the mounts for it. So I'm gonna make a disc brake up here front, and hopefully use the electric brake back here, and then it's just ride this bad boy. But I'm gonna take it out here in a minute, and I might try to go from 32 to stopped and see how quick I can do it. I did it when I just had my two mechanical brakes on here, and I was putting this wheel on, because the other wheel was about worn out, because when I did it, you put a flat spot on your wheel and everything, and I was stopping about 21 feet, if I remember correctly. I think I made a video on it. So I want to see just how fast I can stop it now, but that's where I'm at with that. I'm trying to justify pulling my rear brake off here. It sure was fun pulling a cable off here. It even looks a little cleaner without it on here. And I got, like, on the other side, you got your cable coming from your motor going up. Then I got a couple still coming down, rear derailleur, and then this is one of my brake levers, or brake lever, horn, or whatever, light, flashlight, whatever it is. I'm going to secure it on here with some zip ties. Actually, I can put it in that slot where that other, I just pulled this wire out. Maybe I can snap it down in that slot. That would be neat. So keeping the wires as clean as possible. And I got a computer, a light, 2-in-1 right here. And I put the headlight on, so I got 2 lights. It brights it up pretty good, and a tail light. And I am so advanced, I'm doing regen braking. And I guess it's regen charging my battery when I'm coasting. Now, I don't know how to even test that, but the other day I was coasting down a long hill, and instead of giving it gas all the way down the hill like what I usually do, I actually coasted down the hill. And my battery went up a point. It was like, 49.2. It went up to 49.3. Now, I don't know if that's because it was recharging or it's just, batteries kind of bounce back after you're sucking on it and then you let it off. They'll bounce back a little bit. So I don't know if it was actually from regen that it went up or if it just bouncing back from not being used, being coasting. But it was like a long, long hill, and I just coasted down the whole thing like, I don't know, 4 minutes or something, just coasting. And I don't know how much recharge that would do on the battery, but my battery did go up. And so I'm like thinking maybe it's doing it. I'm not sure how I can even test that. Like, I can't, while I'm coasting down the hill, try to get my voltmeter out and start testing on this sumbitch. I'm not even sure how I can test that. I'll just be guessing, watching like, yeah, my battery seems to be going up if I coast more. So I don't know about that. I'm still learning. The next stage of braking will be some sort of brake lever over here that has a rheostat electrical abilities. It has its ohms, it has a set of ohms that it can cover that needs to be a certain frequency that will use all the brakes. If it's not set right, I'll only get part of the brake or something. So I need that thing needs to be right, and I think I might need a transformer to reduce it to 12 volts because that thing's not going to run off the 48 volts. So I got a few things to get before I go with linear braking on the rear. So right now it's just an on or off, and I think I can change the on or off from 5 volts to 10 volts by going to my high braking instead of right now I'm plugged in my low braking and regen braking. So I'm not sure about that either, but I think I can change that fairly easy to a 10 volts, and then it'll be braking twice as much, which if it's on 5 now and it's braking 10, that might be too much to be using because the 5 is stopping me, so I don't know. But there we go. As the evolving thing evolves, e-biking in your late 50s. I have broke a rib, wrecked twice on this thing already, so don't do that. Take it easier than I did. Ride in safer conditions. Watch the sand. Watch some videos on YouTube about handling your bike and turning your bike and different things like that. Ride as much as possible. Later.